Hi guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And the internet, again, is it rotting our brains? Like, what's it actually doing for us? I think we're getting to the point where the internet is no longer, giving us freedom and obviously not freedom to information, but, with the whole social media and the trolls and the bots and the AI and all this kind of stuff. Like, what are we actually getting from the internet anymore? Is it helping us or is it hindering us?
One thing enough thought is given to how we spend our time online and the anonymity of the internet that allows people to do things in ways that they wouldn't do if it was public, if other people were watching them, if it has an effect on our souls. And that's important how we feel emotionally about ourselves, about like that we're good people. And you have to forgive yourself at the end of the day, but you just want to be mindful of like how are you using the internet? Is it just to like watch porn compulsively all the time, to gamble, to play video games, and to isolate and argue with strangers and trolls online about stupid things that really don't matter, and then your blood pressure's raised and you're isolated and that's what I'm concerned about these days because our friends and ourselves, we can isolate very easily and people be none the wiser and think, oh, they're just, living their lives and they don't know that the spiral.
Yes. I mean, it's so true, isn't it? Like all these trolls and bots and arguing and people acting in ways that they wouldn't in actual public with real people around them. But on the internet, there's this safety line, right? And people are pretty mean. And, there's a lot of this going on in, sort of our world, but the whole, the younger generation, their internet experience is completely different. They are a lot harsher, believe me. And so again, it's the question of what are we getting from the internet? It's clear people are getting stressed. They're feeling isolated. They're feeling like they're doing a lot worse than everyone else, right? Because the internet is false. It's just full of false people, posting these false realities. And then, we, and especially the younger generation, try and keep up with that and try and match that lifestyle. And it's impossible because it's fake. So, you know, like what are we getting? Is all this social media scrolling, these games, obviously the corn, all this kind of stuff. Like what value is the internet to us today?
If I see one more person posting their workout routine, their sauna and cold plunge, the diet routine of their hashtag beast mode. If I see one more person posting how their parenting routine and the wonderful intricate snacks that they make for their children, like all day long, there is an idealized, stylized version of every single aspect of our life that is so much better than the gag reel that we're living. And we're watching it and we're comparing ourselves to it and our partner to it. And we're going, how come my partner doesn't look like that? They don't look like that. Like all these videos of the person like getting up in the morning, who set up the camera? Did someone set up the camera? Like, and I really feel sometimes like I'm the crazy person going, guys, do you not see this? Like, do you not see this? Do you not see that this is what's making you unhappy? You're unhappy with yourself. You're unhappy with your partner. You're unhappy with your relationship with your partner because you're comparing it to fiction.
Exactly right. It's fiction, comparing yourself to fiction. And it's so true. All these posts of these amazing lives, like I mentioned, it's all false. Like who's setting up the camera for these events, that are completely apparently random, right? And we compare ourselves to it. So, what it seems we're getting from the internet these days is a lot of isolation, like we heard in the first clip, mental illness, depression, and just basically we're given, a mark to hit that is just unrealistic. And it's all about, how can you live and keep up with the Joneses, right? How can you impress people with your amazing lifestyle? But what happened to fun? What happened to living? What happened to hanging out with people and doing things that are actually satisfying? Because on the internet, it's not. It's just all these people pretending they're something that they're not. So again, what value is the internet giving us today? And yes, I get the irony, right? I am on YouTube making this video. It's the internet. I get it. The main thing I think, it's been mentioned in the other videos, the problems of things like social media scrolling, the access to corn, especially, for everyone, right? But especially for young kids, young kids, like 10-year-olds can access this. It's not good, right? The isolation, the mental illness, all this stuff, like it's not good for us. And of course, we know that we didn't make the internet. We know who's controlling it. So we know what they want for us, right? And how they think about us. This is turning into a massive control device. And of course, it's being implemented in everything now, in cars, in the cameras in the streets, in all these smart IDs. So I think we need to ask the question, how relevant is the internet still today in 2025? Because it's turned into an echo chamber of falseness and trolls. And again, like I said, not to mention the bots and the AI. So I'd love to know your thoughts, guys. Let me know below. How relevant, how useful is the internet today? At least most of it. Keep watching my video though, right? Subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, like, where is it leading us? Things need to change. Like, in my opinion, they need to change. And the internet seems to be making itself irrelevant.
All right, I just wanted to say, like, personally, social media has been so absolutely toxic to my mental health. And it's just so dangerous, honestly, for teenagers and young adults and people with developing brains to go on social media and just see constant posts of people partying and having fun and having the time of their lives. And it deceives you and tricks you into thinking that everybody else is out having a great time and you're the only one sitting at home not doing anything. And it's just so harmful because it makes you feel like you're a loser. It makes you feel like you're missing out. It makes you feel like you're, um, boring and missing out on all the fun, and it just makes you feel terrible and sad inside because it makes you feel like everybody else has this wonderful great fun life and you're the only one who doesn't.
And this is the main problem, right? It is, especially, younger people who have grown up in a world where they've had the internet their whole lives, right? So it's much more of a reality for them than it is for, us wiser people. Um, and as you can see, it's causing problems, major problems. There's been countless, people unalive themselves over stuff that's gone on online, just trolls and all this kind of stuff, depression. This is not good for our children.
Well, that's just not true. Social media is full of lies and it just tricks you. And it makes you feel like because you all you see is stories and posts of people having fun. That's all you see on social media. So it tricks you into thinking that that is everyone's reality all the time. But what you don't see is the majority of people at home having a boring night just like you, but they're just not posting about it. But it's just social media is so harmful because it doesn't let you see the majority of people. It doesn't let you see, the majority of people's lives where they're not out having a great time. Social media shows you the highlights of people's life and convinces you that they're having those highlights of their life all the time. But that's just not true. And I honestly wish social media was never invented because it has done so much more harm than good. And it's just honestly, I think it's a terrible invention and it's horrible for people's mental health, especially people who are prone to, you know, mental illnesses and abnormal and dysfunctional thought patterns. So that's my rant for the night.
Yes, well, there you go. What do you think? The first social media platform was Facebook. And we know that came straight from the CIA, right? And it's basically just data collection. So that's where social media started. So where did we think it was going to go? We all jumped on and put all our details on there, back in the day and shared our photos and all this. And now we know it's just all so they can collect data on us, right? And know more about us, know more about how to manipulate us. And, time for an ad, right? We need to gather. And that's kind of what I use my channels for, is to try and get people to gather offline. And I'll leave a link below. We're having an event 5th to the 7th of September. If you're in New South Wales, Australia, Northern Rivers, we're having a 3-day event where people are coming together. There's over 100 people coming already, and it's everyone, on the same wavelength where we can gather, where we can talk, unrestricted, uncensored, and actually get back to nature and people and talk and have real interactions, right? And real experiences, because that's what we need. We need to get offline. I mean, to me, the internet is useful as a tool, but that's when you control it. When it starts controlling you, we have issues. And especially again with the younger generation. So if you've got children or grandchildren, how are they going and how are you, navigating this brave new world that we find ourselves in?
I think social media ruins the mentality of a lot of our youth. I think it makes a lot of you guys more depressed than people were pre society. I think it makes you live up to an expectation of having to live a life that other people live and appeal to a life that other people live to make yourself feel better. It's no longer living to live the life that you want to live and living in your own small society. You can broadcast your life to other people and see the lives of other people that live thousands of miles away from you. And you get to see the best of people's lives, which make you feel like your life in relation to that is much worse. I think in that sense, it makes people feel more depressive and sad. But I think that technology also offers a unique enabling of connection, connectivity, trade, access to information, and also other things that make society good.
Yes, I mean, I totally agree with him. It's a double-edged sword, right? This whole internet. It's a double-edged sword. And, again, is it using us or are we using it? I think that we need to take control, right? Take responsibility and really start using it less. Stop being addicted to the scroll, right? And especially with our younger children, like that they've grown up with this. This is normal to them. And kids can be pretty mean, and like I said, there's been a lot of tragedies, that have been around social media. And most of the time, it's people just being trolls, hiding behind their screen just because they're sort of nasty people, right? Or they got things to get out. Or it's people comparing themselves to an illusion, something that's not real, and trying to step up to that mark and live that life that's impossible. And this whole thing about you got to be a millionaire now, you got to live the millionaire life. It's getting crazy. And how about AI ads? Like seriously, every ad I've seen for the last couple of months has been either advertising an AI system and how you can make money from it, or it's been an ad about some other product or service, but it's got an AI voice and it's all AI generated. It's crazy, right? This is a slippery slope. And I think we've got to the point now, and we're only what, 30 years into the internet as far as public access. And I think we're seeing that it's not the wonderful thing that we were sold that it would be. It definitely started off like that. Back in the day, like YouTube in 2007, it was awesome. There was so much content that you could get. There were no echo chambers. They hadn't worked out their algorithms properly, basically because everyone hadn't put their information into Facebook, right? And we weren't on databases. But it was fun and you could find really interesting things. But now it's so censored. The algorithm is so tight and, all based around echo chambers and just giving you more and more of what they want you to hear in different perspectives. So it's a programming of device. We know the TV, the idiot box, that was a programming device. The internet is that on steroids. And the way out of this, I think, is we need to decide to get off the internet. And I mean, even if we do, it'll probably keep running, right? Because there's so many bots on it. So maybe we need an internet too, that's actually created by men and women, right? Not by these technocrats and these massive corporations. And of course, corporation is corpse. They only deal with dead people. And that's not who we are. We are living men and women. So guys, I would love to hear your thoughts. Tell me what's your experience on the internet, with social media, with trolls, with all this stuff. Has it affected you? Has it affected your children, grandchildren? And how are you dealing with it? And most importantly, what do you think the solution is? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, please give me a like, subscribe, share this around, all that kind of stuff. And again, I'll leave the link below if you do want to meet up with real people. We're having an event, Northern Rivers, 5th to 7th of September. But, obviously not everyone's in Australia or New South Wales. This is, I think, the future. We need to meet up. We need to meet people on the internet, make our connections, and then meet up in reality, right? See these people, converse with them, talk to them. Let's use the internet to get away from the internet because we've been so divided, since 2025. Obviously, they locked us all away. They, traumatized everyone. A lot of friends split from that. Families aren't talking to each other. Couples split because of, their opinions on what was going on. And so now a lot of us that are, open-minded, I don't really like the whole awake kind of term, but those of us that can see more and want to learn more about what this world is and learn how to live better, then hook up with these people, find them, make groups and hook up in reality. This is the way forward, I think. Let's use their tool of the internet that was made to divide us to bring us back together again with the people that that are on our level, because they're everywhere. And the problem is they could be a neighbor, but you don't know because we're not talking to people randomly in the street anymore. Again, because of what's gone on in the last 5 years. So thanks for spending some time with me. Hope you enjoyed that one. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.